Jay, tell people where they can find you and mention any content you are putting out and which team you are representing.
Hey, you can find me over on Twitter at FantasyJ77. I'm doing Wednesday nights hosting on Fantasy Intervention, and then Thursday nights is on Dynasty Gambit on the Going for Two network. And right now in the off season, Wednesday nights we're running every week. We've basically changed it over from redraft to Dynasty being in the off season. And then on the Gambit, we're strictly a Dynasty show, but we're doing every other Thursday night during the off season. So it's been fun. And I am representing my Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
There you go. All right. Yeah. Yeah, that actually to me seems like one of the only matchups that really looks like it could be a divisional weekend matchup. It's going to be, I think, one of the tougher ones on paper, but we will definitely get to that matchup in a little bit where I'll give some thoughts on the Cowboys, but of course you will cover the Buccaneers more than well, I am sure. So I appreciate you being here, buddy.
Absolutely. Thank you,
And
Steve.
oh yeah, you got it. And we'll bring on another J.
There we
G-Men J.
go.
Here he is,
Perfect
at
timing,
last.
Clinton. Clinton, good to see you, my friend. We were
That's right.
trading some friendly some barbs, all in good fun on Twitter.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, Jay, please tell people where they can find you on social media, on Twitter, and please mention any content that you got coming out.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find me on Twitter at GMenJ. Shocker, I'm a fan of the New York Giants. I'm a part of the team over at Front Yard Fantasy. You can follow
Oh,
us
perfect.
at
Yep.
Front Yard FYF. I do a little bit of everything over there. I do some of the shows. Biggest way you can support us is to go to our YouTube page, Front Yard Fantasy on YouTube. We have a morning show on the Better Sports Network Monday through Friday. 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern, and it's basically what we had with the game show, which we still do twice a week. But we like to mix fantasy with fun. Fantasy is supposed to be fun. We don't take ourselves too seriously. We give you good advice, but we make you laugh while you're doing it. Take popular games and kind of mold them to fit with fantasy football. So we'll do like Wheel of Fortune, but with a fantasy football twist. There's a lot more than that. It's a ton of fun. We got some great guys over there. That's the best way you can support us, to go check us out on our YouTube page.
Yeah, I must say, very enjoyable and entertaining TikTok page as well.
Yeah,
So,
we put out a lot of nonsense, so we get some good information and also a lot of nonsense too.
oh no, I was gonna say there was one that I just like. I literally laughed out loud at talking about potential head coach candidates, and just a lot of good names. And at the very end, it's a very great punchline. So I'll let you all check
Go
it
check
out and,
that
and
one
see
out.
for
And
yourself. Yeah.
not to brag or anything, but that was that was my idea. So just
Oh,
want
there
to
you
throw that
go.
out there. So
Excellent. I love it. So a good guy, good sense of humor. Only thing that's wrong with you is that you're a Giants fan, but
yeah,
but
I
that's all
get
right.
that a lot. I get that a lot. I'm a
No,
Yankees
no,
fan too, and I'm used to everybody hating on me for that. So
there you go. That's all right. My longtime roommate in college is also a Yankees and Giants man.
okay,
So we got the Penn State connection, but
I
he
got you.
has the flaw of the sports fandom as well. But I
Yeah,
love him to death too. So
about
it's all
half of
good.
my family is Mets, Jets, and Islanders. The other
Oh,
half is Giants, Yankees. I was a Rangers fan when I started growing up, but I live in North Carolina now. I don't know if you knew that or not. I grew up here. I was around when the Hurricanes moved from Hartford. Went to the first game ever, so that's the only professional team I did adopt here in North
there
Carolina.
you
So
go.
I'm Yankees, Giants, and Carolina Hurricanes.
There you go. Very cool. Very cool. Well, I appreciate you coming out,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
this is great. I'll talk about the Cowboys with Jay, and then you'll of course talk about the Vikings and Giants with Clinton. So we'll just stay on
I'm
the same
excited.
screen and knock it out. So, Jay,
Which
Fantasy
Jay?
J. Yeah,
Okay.
sorry about that. Yeah, you guys are next to each other. I'll just say Bucks J.
There you
We're
go.
going to talk about this matchup first here on Monday Night Football. Cowboys are on the road. They are favorites, 2.5 with the over under at 45.5. Basically, for me, trying to be as unbiased as possible, Eagles fan, of course. But I think the key to the Cowboys' success is really just lies on solely Dak Prescott. The dude has 13 interceptions in the last 7 games. He just has to tighten it up and just take care of the ball. Still a solid defense, good running game, good weapons to throw to. He just has to really tighten up his decision making process. And as I said, this matchup really just feels like a divisional weekend type of a matchup here. So a lot of very interesting things can happen in this one. Tom Brady made it to the playoffs, of course, with all the turmoil in his personal life. Just you hate to see that kind of stuff, but he's still the goat. He's still back in the playoffs, despite the NFC South just being pretty poor this season, but to say it lightly. But yeah, so I think the key to the Cowboys' success is a quarterback play. So, Jay, please tell me, what are you most confident about for your Bucks, and what are you least confident about your Bucks in this matchup against the Cowboys?
This is probably going to be a really, really short list about what I am confident on.
Fair enough. Okay.
About the only thing I'm going to be confident in is that Tom Brady is going to throw the ball 40 plus times. He's done it 13 of 17 games this year, so that's about the only thing I'm going to be confident in. Other than probably Chris Godwin getting 8 or 10 targets as well as him throwing the 40 times. The least confident thing is who's going to win. This game could honestly end in a tie, which would absolutely be just the ideal thing for 2020 football season. I mean, it's like you said, this game could be so tight. The other thing I'll say though that I'm confident in is when you look back at what Tampa does during the regular season compared to what they do in the postseason, at least since Brady's been there, when they play a team in the regular season and then play them again in the postseason, take out the Rams last year in the divisional game, they come with a completely different game plan, and it looks like a different football team than what you saw all year. You look at the Chiefs when they in 2020 when they did win the Super Bowl, they played the Chiefs, in Tampa, and that's the Tyreek. He had 200 freaking yards in like the first drive or something like that. It was just insane. But then you turn around and the very next game they changed up the defensive coverage and Tyreek was held to like 60 yards, for the game.
Mm.
It was absolutely wonderful to watch it. That Todd Bowles defense, that style, without having Bruce Arians there. Now it's Todd Bowles and Byron Leftwich doing it on their own. It's been kind of questionable play callings on both sides, defense and offensively for the pair.
Gotcha. So, is there a singular aspect of the Buccaneers team that you think will swing the game as far as winning or losing? Do you think it all kind of falls on Brady? Do you think like the linebacker play has to step up, or what have you? Is there like a singular position or key player you think that exists in this matchup?
Well, it's. I don't think it's all on Brady. I think it actually is going to fall on the defense, and probably more importantly, the front seven. You got Vita Vea coming back. You got Akeem Hicks coming back. They've got to get the pressure up the middle. Run stopping. With Zeke and Pollard both. Open up the rush lanes for Devin White to get to the quarterback to force Dak into these turnovers. These 7 games in a row he's thrown the ball to the wrong team. 15 picks for the whole year. I'm not saying that Brady's been much better, but you look at the first 9 games or so, he had 2 interceptions. The last few games, he's actually tried to force the ball a little bit more when they were trying to make that playoff run. But you look at Dak over the last 2 weeks, to inferior teams, Tennessee and Washington, and the whole offense is just for Dallas has just not looked like they're put together. And neither did the Bucks, by the way. I'm not saying that as a plus for the Bucks, but so the answer to your question though is the front 7 for Tampa's D is probably the ones that will most likely affect the outcome of the game. Like I said, Vita Vea, you got Akeem Hicks, you got Carlton Davis coming back. You've got I believe I've got the list right here of everybody's coming back. Nassib's supposed to be back. Kyle Rudolph is the only one that's questionable. Logan Ryan limited practice today. Sean Murphy Bunning's coming back. So we're starting to get, as Tom Brady says, we're starting to get healthy at the right time. But we are now healthier. We're more healthy now as a team than we have been since like training camp and mini camps and things like that. So that's a huge plus there.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. So I think with that in mind, you try to limit the running game, put it all on Dak to put himself in a position to keep on making these mistakes. So yeah, I like that. I think that makes a lot of sense. So that's good stuff. Now, say the Bucks win or they don't win. Who would you say what would be your prediction for Super Bowl champion this season from what we've seen up to this point and who's made the playoffs?
Man, to be honest, I'm gonna have to agree with Andrew. I think it's the Bengals. I mean, even
Okay.
if my Bucks get there, which godly could that happen? I don't know, but I truly believe it is. This season is all about the Bengals. I think it's gonna be the Bengals and the Bills in the AFC title game, and I think the Eagles are gonna get it out of the NFC. But like Andrew said, I couldn't be pissed or mad at if it was the Eagles that won it. I mean, they've had a phenomenal season and well deserved. I think the Bengals are, you look at, like you said earlier, the Super Bowl, or the playoff hangover, Super Bowl hangover, whatever. It's
Yeah.
it's phenomenal to watch these guys, these young kids, where you've got Chase and Higgins and Burrow, Chase or Higgins being 3 years in the league and the other two being 2 years in the league, and they're sitting there. This would be if they make it, their second Super Bowl appearance, and it's like, okay, I mean, you can't not root for that. I don't think.
No, definitely. Yeah, it's quite the turnaround. I mean, like Zach Taylor looked like he was like the laughing just like the laughing stock of like the head coaching world, and then a very quick turnaround, and he did it 2 years in a row. So yeah, again, I really can't argue with it. Like I said with Andrew, that would be a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie, but I would be devastated, of course, if it happens at the Eagles' expense. But that's we'll have to wait to see if we even get to that point. But yeah, so all right. I appreciate your thoughts on that, Jay. And if you want to hang out and stick around, that'd be awesome. But if
Oh
you got to
yeah,
bounce, we can bounce.
no,
Oh,
no,
awesome.
I'm gonna hang out and watch these two just go to battle right here. This is gonna be more fun seeing it live.